So apologies in advance. I'm going to start this video on my iPhone because I've just got an updated map from JSR. So I emailed him after I uploaded the video last night and basically told him what the situation was with the flex not reading properly, and then went to bed. Woke up this morning, got an update from JSR. He said it's going to be down to the scalar settings in the map that he's written. He set it up for the Motive Flex Fuel analyzer, which is what he uses for all of the other flex fuel kits he's set up, but he's rescaled it to suit the voltages coming out of the fuelet. Given me another map already, so I'm going to go and put it on the car and see if it works. Okay, so just finished another flash. Now this has got the updated one from JSR with the different scalars, and we'll see what ethanol content reading we get now. Contacting the DME. Okay, so in MHD we're now seeing the correct ethanol content. Brilliant. All right, I better go and grab the JB4 phone and we'll see if the JB4 sees the right content as well. Okay, ignition's on, battery's getting a bit low even though it's on a charger, but moment of truth. Fucking worked! God, JSR's good. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. JSR has sorted out the ethanol reading even though I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. He's just been really good. Okay, I'm going to go and get dressed and probably take this for his first test drive on flex fuel. See how it runs. Okay, well, I've got myself sorted for the day, so let's see if it actually runs. Now, we've got the JB4 app there, and it's definitely heated up a bit. So ignition's on. The battery went a bit low because I was messing around with the car, but that'll be fine. So we'll connect with JB4. And I'm going to log the first startup. I always tend to do this when I've got a fresh map on it. Okay. She started fine. Idling smooth. No issues. We can see the ethanol content fluctuating a little bit, but that is perfectly normal. It used to do that when I had the sensor going straight to the JB4 anyway. All right, I'm gonna let the car warm up, and we'll head out for a drive and do some vlogging shortly. Okay, so coolant temp is at 70. I'm happy to take off from there, and let's go and see how she drives. Now, obviously, just putting the fresh map on, not gonna go crazy straight away. In fact, I'm going to take it easy. Yeah, just make sure that the car's not doing anything wrong under normal use before we put it under load. Now with these data logs, JSR did say log map 2. Map 2 is going to target around 17 psi, so nothing too intense, but it will still get the port injection firing and that sort of stuff, and get the car under some load. And we'll see how it goes. And so far, feels exactly the same as the other tune. So I'd say we don't have any issues. I'm going to drive it for 5 or 10 minutes and you'll see me again once we're ready to start doing some data logs, or if we have any problems. See you shortly. Okay, so everything's up to temperature. I've had one little sort of quarter throttle roll on, and under power everything seems fine. I don't know why, and I don't know if it's just because I only pay attention to them after I put a map on, but watching the AFRs float up and down always wigs me out. If you've watched a few of my videos, I've mentioned it before, I'm still running the Chinese rear O2 sensors, and maybe it's just playing on my mind that I don't have a genuine one in there. I've got the genuine ones to fit, I've just got to get my arse in the gear and fit them, I guess. But yeah, hopefully it's on your screen at the moment, but you can see the AFR hunting between sort of 15 to low 14s. Don't know why it does it, but give it a bit of boost. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. That was very light throttle then. Obviously we're in traffic, so I didn't go too hard. But I'm nearly at the place where I can do the data logs. So you'll see me shortly for a power run. Okay, so we're coming up to the deserted stretch of road. I'll do a pull in third, and I'm not going to wind it out in fourth, and we'll just well, I guess that's going to be its adaptation pull. So we're low 2000 RPMs, traction's off, map 2, and we're flat out. She still pulls quite well. Felt really good. I let off early in fourth, but it felt really, really good. Damn, this car just does what it's supposed to do sometimes. All right. So we'll be a little bit more aggressive with the roll on this time. And I will data log it as well. So back in manual, second gear. Okay, we're in third, quite low RPMs. Data logging is started and we're flat out for 2,500. She feels a lot slower than 27 PSI, but not bad. Not bad. It felt quite fast, but I should have dragged it. Would have been interesting to see the difference. But yeah, so we've got the data logs. I'm going to head back to the house, and I actually want to review them and just make sure that everything makes sense before I send them off to JSR. So I'll see you guys when I get back to the house. Well, we've arrived back home, and from the driver's seat, that all went pretty much perfectly. Yeah, map 2, which I think is around that 17, 18 PSI target, definitely feels down on power compared to 27. But we've got to go through the process, so let's hop inside and have a look at those logs and make sure everything is safe. Yeah. Okay, so I've just got the log loaded up into Data's app. So I guess let's have a look and see if we've got any issues with this flex tune. First thing I'm going to have a quick look at is just boost, and if you haven't had a look at a data log before, this grey line that we've got right here is the RPMs, and the whitey yellow colour line is the boost. Now I'll just show you in there, because we're running map 2 on the JB4 for these test runs, we're not getting a lot of boost, so we sort of peak up around that 18 PSI, and then it comes back down to about 14, well, low 14s at the top of the rev range, and a similar curve in fourth gear as well. So boost is doing what it should be doing. Again, with the JB4s, they will, whenever you put a new flash on, it takes them 3 or 4 pulls to properly get the boost close to target, but that's good enough for what we need to see. Let's check ignition timing. So ignition timing is one of the things that the flex maps will adapt on. With the E60 solid maps that we had before, we were targeting 10.5 degrees of timing, where this one is hitting 10.5 right near the top of the RPM range, but it builds its way up. So it's a bit more of a gradual seat onto that 10.5. I might ask JSR if he set it up that way or if it's just the way that this one's done the pull. You can see in fourth gear, we start at 9.3 degrees up to 9.69 and then out to 10.5 at the top of the rev range. No big timing pulls, everything looks good on the timing front. Let's have a quick look at fuel pressures. So you can see this is low pressure, fuel pressure, sitting around 70 PSI as we come onto the power. It dips down to the low 60s, and then you can see that's probably where the second pump is cut in. And we're up around high 60s in the 70s all the way through for low pressure, so that's good. Let's have a quick look at high fuel pressure. Now my car bizarrely always seems to do weird things with a high pressure fuel pressure at lower, yeah, and it's done it there as well. So we've got quite strong high pressure fuel pressure, 16, 15s, but because the port injection is not working much at these boost levels, I get these oscillations with the high pressure fuel pump. Not really sure what causes it, I'm not sure if it's a JB4 thing. Still, we bottom out at 10, which is 1500 PSI, so we're not dangerous on that, it's just not, it just looks funny. I'd much rather see a smooth curve, which we get when we run higher boost and more port injection. Speaking of the port injection, we better make sure that's working because the JB4 will scale the port injection on these ethanol tunes. So we have fuel enrichment. So that is the signal that well, that's basically when the JB4 is increasing the fuel. So that one is working, and then we've got the meth trace, which is the actual injectors firing. Excuse me. It's the injectors actually firing with the port injection kit. And so they're not doing much until we come up to about 17 psi, and where's the RPMs? So around 3000 RPM, port injection turns on, and even at the peak, we're running 19% duty cycle. So the port injection is not doing much at these power levels at all, but it is working. Everything looks pretty good. Now, the other thing I'll just check quickly before I do shoot this off to JSR is the AFRs. So that is bank 1. I can't see bank 2 at the moment. Where is it? There it is. Bank 2 AFRs. Yeah, moving together. All pretty good. Actually, I suppose we could check trims while we're here as well. Trims are how much the DME is adjusting the fuel to get the desired AFR. And trims can be a good indicator if something is off. Get rid of the AFRs. And there's trims too. So they're not completely in sync with each other. I really need to get on and do those O2 sensors. Look, nothing looks scary in the map. And the last thing we'll look at, which isn't really an issue, but just for shits and giggles, there is our E85 Trace, and she is solid at 58 ethanol content all the way across, so an E58 mix. Yeah, so from this point on, it's just a matter of tweaking the map and squeezing the power out of it, I guess. I'm going to wait till I hear back from JSR, and we'll try and add some 98 pump fuel to the tank, and that'll reduce that E content down, and we'll just make sure that it does adjust the timing and everything that it's supposed to do before we go nuts on it. But for now, I'm pretty happy with it. We've got flex fuel actually working through the DME, and it's good to go. So yeah, essentially I could go and put some 98 in it, and I don't need to change the map, don't need to remap it. That's brilliant. All right, guys, we're getting close to getting this sorted out. It'll be one more video on the final tune, I guess, or setup with the flex fuel. My brakes still haven't arrived, unfortunately. But until the next one, thank you very much for watching. Peace.